I just need a minute to figure out our next move, baby.
No, you had your chance to figure this shit out and be a leader, and you let us here. So we do it my way now. Get in the back, lay down, stay out of sight.
Welcome back to Episode Society. Nemesis. 8 episodes, all dropped on Netflix at once. And honestly, we binged it, we survived it, and we have thoughts. This is the full series breakdown. No holding back, full spoilers, everything on the table. So if you haven't watched, go watch it first. We'll be here. For everyone else, let's get into it. What the show is. Nemesis comes from Courtney A. Kemp, the woman who gave us power. And the moment you hear that name, you already know the assignment. Layered characters, messy morality, people making decisions that are going to destroy them and looking incredible while doing it. The premise is simple on paper. LAPD detective Isaiah Stiles versus master thief Coltrane Wilder. Cop versus criminal. Good versus bad. Except, and this is the whole show, it's not that simple. Not even close. Because by episode 2, you're already rooting for the wrong guy. And by the finale, you're not even sure who the wrong guy is anymore. Coltrane Wilder, the man. Let's start with Coltrane because honestly, he's the reason you watch. Yalin Noel is doing something genuinely special here. Coltrane is a thief, a criminal, the guy the law is trying to bring down. And yet he is the most respectable man in the entire show. Why? Because everything he does, every heist, every risk, every dangerous decision, has a reason behind it. Family, his people, the life he's trying to build and protect. He shows up. That's the thing about Coltrane. He always shows up. He can be in the middle of absolute chaos. And he still makes it to the ultrasound. He still leads his crew with intention. He still comes home to Ebony and is present. There's something deeply attractive about a man who can hold that much and still show up for the people he loves. And the way he handles Ebony specifically, it's worth talking about. He doesn't dominate her. He doesn't dismiss her. When she steps up, when she takes charge, when she makes the hard calls, he lets her. He respects it. He's actually good at receiving her strength rather than being threatened by it. In a genre full of men who need to be the loudest person in the room, Coltrane is quietly, confidently present. That is the whole fantasy, and the show knows it. Isaiah Stiles the problem. And then there's Isaiah. Isaiah is technically the hero. He's the cop. He's on the right side of the law. He wears the badge and believes in what it means. And yet, he is the most frustrating person to watch. Because Isaiah burns everyone around him to get what he wants. His wife, his son, his colleagues, his own reputation. Everything becomes collateral in his obsession with bringing Coltrane down. And what makes it worse is that the obsession isn't even really about justice. It's personal. It's ego. He cannot stand that someone like Coltrane exists and thrives and keeps slipping through his fingers. He's too childish with it. Too emotional. A good detective is supposed to be surgical. Isaiah is a sledgehammer. He goes through walls instead of doors and wonders why everything keeps breaking. And the saddest part? He can't see when anyone is trying to help him. Candace is right there. His team is right there. People throwing him lifelines, and he's so locked into revenge mode that he mistakes every hand reaching for him as an obstacle. Isaiah isn't a bad person, but he is a deeply limited one. And the show is ruthless about showing you exactly where those limits live. Ebony and the real power in this show. Can we talk about the women for a second? Because Nemesis is quietly a show about women holding everything together while the men chase each other around Los Angeles. Ebony Wilder is the one. Smart, composed, always 10 steps ahead. Except when it comes to the people she loves, which is where she's most human. You trust her completely until she slips up around Candace and Isaiah's son. But here's the thing. Even that slip makes sense. She wasn't being malicious. She was trying to help a woman she cared about protect her son. It was loyalty that got complicated, which is the most human reason to make a mistake. And when Ebony takes charge, fully, unapologetically steps into the driver's seat, it's one of the best moments in the series. Coltrane doesn't flinch. He doesn't mansplain. He lets her lead, and you can tell he actually respects it. That dynamic is rare on television, and the show treats it like it's completely normal. Which is exactly how it should be. Charlie, the most underestimated character. Now, Charlie. If you watched this show and slept on Charlie, you weren't paying attention. Ebony's older sister is operating on a completely different level to everyone else in this show. While Isaiah and Coltrane are playing chess with each other, Charlie is the one who built the board. She's a fixer. Cold, methodical, impeccably dressed, and completely unapologetic about every decision she makes. The corrupt detective? In Charlie's pocket. Not Coltrane's. Charlie's. That reveal hits so hard because by that point, you've been watching this woman in the background making quiet moves and you realize she was never in the background. She was always at the front. We just weren't looking at the right person. The hospital rescue. The way she pulls strings that nobody even knew existed. Charlie is the most powerful person in this entire show, and she does it without ever being the loudest voice in the room. That is a very specific and very impressive kind of power. Noah, the cycle nobody wants to repeat. Noah is the emotional gut punch of the series that doesn't get talked about enough. Here is a young man watching his father become consumed by obsession. Watching Isaiah burn relationships, compromise integrity, spiral deeper into something that stopped being about justice a long time ago. And Noah is terrified. Not just of what's happening around him, but of what it means for who he might become. Because he also has his grandfather, Nightmare, in the picture. A man whose choices echo through the family like a curse. And Noah is standing in the middle of all of it, trying to figure out if legacy is something you inherit or something you choose. That fear, the specific terror of looking at the people in your family and seeing your own future reflected back, is something the show handles with real sensitivity. Noah isn't just a plot device. He's the moral center of the whole thing. The finale and what it left us with. The ending. Coltrane cornered. A chaotic shootout. Noah gets shot in the crossfire. And Coltrane, in his most Coltrane moment of the entire series, uses that moment to bargain for his freedom. Not out of pure selfishness, but because he can actually help save the boy's life. And Isaiah, for maybe the first time all season, makes the human choice over the obsessive one. It's messy, it's morally loaded, it doesn't wrap anything up cleanly, and honestly, that's exactly right. Satisfied but not fully. And that's not a criticism. That's the show doing its job. It gives you enough to feel the season is complete while leaving every single thread loose enough that you need season 2 immediately. Does Noah survive? Where does Coltrane go? What actually happened between Candace and Malik? What is Charlie planning next? We need answers, and that means the show worked. The power comparison. People are going to compare this to Power, and they should. Because Courtney Kemp built that universe, and the DNA is right there in Nemesis. The morally gray protagonists, the women who are smarter than everyone gives them credit for, the way the show makes you root for people you probably shouldn't. But here's the thing. That's a compliment. Power was a great show. It ran for years, because it understood something that most crime dramas don't. You don't have to make people likable. You have to make them understandable. You have to make their choices feel inevitable. And Nemesis does exactly that from episode 1. If this show gets the runway Power got, and based on the reception it deserves to, we are in for something special. Nemesis. Season 1. 8 episodes that went way too fast and ended with way too many questions still on the table. Coltrane is the man. Isaiah is his own worst enemy. Ebony is everything. Charlie is the most dangerous person in any room she walks into. And Noah is just trying not to become the men around him. This show has the bones to be something that runs and runs. The characters are rich enough, the world is big enough, and the questions it's asking are too good to only get one season. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Go. And if you have, drop in the comments. Are you Team Coltrane? Or are you somehow still defending Isaiah? Because we know where we stand. Like, subscribe, all of that. This is Episode Society. See you in the next one.